Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 321st episode of my series, where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So touching back down in the South, today I wanted to delve into Nappy Roots, a super talented Kentucky-based crew that actually got their start back in the late 90s, where after meeting at Western Kentucky University and forming the collective, they managed to garner some local notoriety and eventually the attention of labels, initially through 1998's Country Fried Cess, which they had self-released. However, the first proper album that really put them on the map was definitely their 2002 full-length studio debut here, titled Watermelon, Chicken, and Grits. Not only did this thing go platinum, but it set Nappy Roots up for a long and fruitful career, which after their breakout success here was subsequently followed up the next year, in 2003 when they dropped their somewhat underrated sophomore effort, Wooden Leather, before taking a 5-year hiatus, and returning in 2008 with the Humdinger. They remained active going into the 2010s, putting out quality, solid work, with LPs like The Pursuit of Nappiness in 2011, Nappy.org, which was in collaboration with the legendary production crew Organized Noise, and came out in 2011, or even the trilogy of albums that Nappy Roots closed out the second half of the decade with, which includes 2015's The 40 Acres Project, 2017's Another 40 Acres, and finally 2020's 40. They actually had one more release since then, back in 2023, when they dropped Nappy for Life Part 1, and that leaves me pretty optimistic about even more new music from these guys potentially being right around the corner, though the one downside with listening to the more recent output is you don't get to hear quite as many diverse MCs, since the roster dwindled a bit over the years, shrinking down to just a quartet out of the 6 members they initially started off with. This original lineup was composed of Fish Scales, Skinny DeVille, Be Still, Ron Clutch, R. Prophet, and Big V. But both Prophet and V would end up departing in 2007 and 2012 respectively. However, we have the entire roster together for their official breakout LP here, and while in the past I feel like I've had the tendency to mention fellow Southern underground acts like Cunning Linguists as kind of an updated take on the sound pioneered by Dungeon Family affiliates like Outkast or Goody Mob, I definitely still stand by that, but I also feel like Nappy Roots could be argued as being an even closer direct descendant of that Dirty South sound. In the way they utilize this mixed bag of voices, flows, and personalities to trade off these thought-provoking, densely constructed bars, on top of gritty yet polished production, makes it very apparent that Goody Mob in particular was a huge influence on this debut record. They definitely put their own unique spin on these themes and sounds, and I think they're one of the acts that sort of bridge the gap between 80s and 90s Southern hip-hop titans, like Ghetto Boys for example, with relatively newer acts like Big Crit, who, like these guys, has always paid homage to his OGs and worn some of those influences on his sleeve, while of course still putting it through his own filter and pushing the culture forward. I absolutely adore the beats here because they're just the epitome of the Dirty South, and not only do they make you feel like you're sitting right alongside these guys on a porch in Kentucky during this listening journey, but the majority of instrumentals have aged extremely well and still slap just as hard today as ever. Watermelon, Chicken, and Grits is another clear example of a project that came as the result of all the MCs involved being so talented, to the point no one member had to look far for inspiration, and they surely pushed each other by constantly raising the bar, which just leads to one absolutely stellar posse cut after another. And one ideal moment I want to use to back that up comes on the track Ballin' on a Budget, which is easily one of my favorite records on the LP, with a simple but almost kind of ominous cello loop, which sets the various rappers up to display their top tier lyrical prowess. Ron Clutch starts us off here, coming in with "I'm just a big bang baller on a budget, dank weed smoking like bucket, city slicker, country dude rapping straight from Kentucky. Horseshoes and rabbit paws flossing, chicken claws for the lucky, 40 flowers, Range Rovers so they know the tailpipe's rusted." Then Big V takes over the mic and wastes no time rapping "country cookin', dog fightin', big body riding, chillin' like a mug in western Kentucky, showin' love. Summertime a funner time, smokin' gunner time, sippin' Sprite and something dark every fucking time." After him, for verse number 3, we have Scales, who slows down the tempo a bit for his part, which he kicks off with, "Okay, watch how the po-fo ball, stomp through the mall in my overalls, the block a ball. No pager, no cell phone, no access at all, just a pack of Dutch masters and a pint of alcohol." Then Skinny DeVille takes the spotlight, and he says, "My hoopty with a down crew like Boots said, you don't perm buck a fade, let my hair swing back and forth like a germ. Ill rapper with sick shit, pull out this and stick it in this thick chick, baby mama drama, child support court, and ain't worth a biscuit." Then after the slick and catchy chorus, which is also provided by Skinny, we get a few more dope verses, but the last one I want to share comes from Be Still, who slides in after the hook with "Pull up, deer horns on the hood of my truck, Kentucky mud on my shoes and my socks. Hungry Jack, forever trying to stuff some food in my gut. Country cat in the cowboy hat, I'm front to back, put the house on that." There isn't a surplus of guest appearances on this thing, but it's still more than you may expect from a debut, especially when it's a collective that already has so many MCs to begin with. But I digress. The features on here include Jazzy Faw, CJ Voodoo Henry, Anthony Hamilton, Aisha Kirk, The Bar Keys, and Tiffany Villarreal. As for producers, a talented group of them came together to craft these banging instrumentals, and those include names like James Groove Chambers, The Track Boys, Troy Johnson, Brian Kidd, Carlos 6 July Brody, and Mike City. When it comes to the honorable mentions I want to shout out for this one, I think I'm going to go with tracks like Hustla, Set It Out, Country Boys, Heads Up, Life's a Bitch, My Ride, 140, Hoedown, Kentucky Mud, and Dime, Quarter, Nickel, Penny. Then, even though I discussed it earlier in the video, I'd have to name Ballin' on a Budget as one of my 3 favorite tracks overall here, with the other 2 being Slums and Po Folks. Thank you for watching my 321st video. Next time we're going to discuss an insanely talented underground femc, so tune in for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite moments are off this endlessly impressive group debut. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.